Pisces, welcome to the month of September 2023. You're going to find some great breakthrough energy in significant relationships, particularly love or business, as well as some momentum and fresh energy coming into the place of health and work for you this month. In general, you're going to feel like you're getting from a stuck to an unstuck place, and you're going to feel a bit of grace and ease as this month progresses. We have a lot of energy going on this month in which planets are heading into direct motion, which really does help. We're going to talk a little bit about how that might impact you, and we're going to go step by step through the major events of the month ahead. Listen for your rising sign. It's going to be the most accurate. Secondarily, your sun, which can be purpose and career and father figures, moon, home, mother, and maybe your body can be listened to as well. Rising sign will be mostly all about you and everything in your life. Now, before we begin, my name is Lori Lothy, and if you're new to my channel, hit that like button and subscribe, please. It does help the channel grow. And I have a couple of promotions for the month of September. I'm going to be very brief. I'm sharing my sister Nancy, healingwithnancylynn.com. She's my biological younger sister. She's an incredibly powerful healer. She uses Reiki and other tools for distance healing. For my crew only, fall 15 code in the description box. You can use that code to book with her during the month of September, and the doors on that offer close at the end of the month. Second promotion that I want to share with you guys, I have a Patreon community, and if you join for only $5 a month, you get a lot of perks. Ad-free content, early access before the general public. You get a discount code for a reading with me, etc. But the thing I'm going to offer you if you join in the month of September is I'm going to give you access to my 2023 All Sign videos valued at $47, as well as 2 courses I'm teaching at the end of August. After they're taught in September, I'm going to put them into the Patreon community for all tiers for free. Normally, there is a delay of 6 months before that's offered, etc. It's called Are You My Person? It's a course on how to understand relationship synastry. And the second one, Chiron, the Key to Purpose. Both those classes will be taught in August, and they're paid courses. But then if you want to get the replays for free, all you have to do is sign up for my Patreon community anytime from when you receive this video, which is going to be around August the 20th through to the end of September. Newbies coming in the door get those perks. And it doesn't matter what tier you're joining at, that will be true. All right, so let's get going and talk about this month of August. All right. So first of all, I don't cover the moons, guys. The moons, we have 2 moons unless it's your sign. We have a Virgo, a new moon on September 14th, and then we have a full moon in Aries on September 29th. I don't do that because I do long, all signs in-depth, deep dive videos on my channel for that each month. And so rather than waste time doing it twice, we actually talked this month about the transits, what's going on in the transits, and planetary changes of signs or direction. So let's start off at the top of the story. Because you're a Pisces rising, you're going through the experience of Mercury in the sign of Virgo across the way, your marriage partner, your business partner, for a very long time. It's a 2-month journey. And that's because he is in what we call an elemental earth year. And he has been retrograding, going backwards, right? All the way through from the end of August through to September the 15th. And then on September the 15th, he turns direct. This is really important for you. This is significant because when Mercury goes direct, you go direct in some area of your 7th house story. You and that relationship that was stalled, that marriage business partnership that was stalled, that audience outreach, marketplace outreach, clients outreach that was sort of going back and going inward, rethinking, maybe you're changing your mind, going back in a different direction even, but now things are going to move forward. So look for September 15th onward to be a continuation of things that happened ever since Mercury entered into the sign of Virgo. My brain won't remember when. Let me just pause my recording so I can remember when he did that. July 28th to October the 4th. I should know that. I just did a video on it. So that's a lot of Mercury in the sign opposite you. You haven't seen him spend that much time there since 2016, about the same time of year, or 2016. So it's a big deal. And when he moves direct on the 15th, you'll begin to experience some momentum, and especially after around September 30th when he leaves his shadow period. So get ready then for some spring forward, spring into motion, New developments, significant developments with significant love partners or business partners or clients, audience, and marketplace, particularly maybe even travel, because near the end of all of that, around September 30th, Mars will trine Uranus in the house of travel. Third house content can also be about siblings. Third house content can also be about, learning opportunities, but it's quite often travel. Mercury loves to travel as well, protects travelers. So look for some breakthrough stories around travel, business, work, etc. Around the end of September. Second most important story for you to know about, and we will be going chronological shortly, I would say, is Venus moving direct in your work and health house. Now, Venus will have spent 4 months in Leo, which is an inordinate and long stay from early June through to around October the 5th. And her extraordinary long stay in Leo, again, is extremely rare. It's the first time we've seen that in your lifetime. She just started doing retrograde cycles in Leo in 1987. So this long stay is trying to really help you find joyful ways to be healthy, to refine your work so that you find joyful work or pleasant work or pleasing colleagues. Sometimes romance can blossom from somebody aligned with your work life or your values as you apply them to work. And all of that is exciting because it's so unusual and so rare. But as Venus is moving direct, out of her retrogradation on September 4th, you get a feeling of you finally going into direct motion as well. July 22nd to September 4th, Venus would have retrograded. She would have gone invisible. She went into the heart of the sun. That's last month's video. All of that made things to do with health and work somewhat off duty, somewhat like not an actionable, visible thing in your life. Work stalled. No, you apply for jobs, you weren't getting them. You had time off from work, or things in the workplace were kind of wonky. Well, that's going to change. That applies to pets as well. That applies to rentals and tenancies as well. Those factors are getting a boost when she moves direct on September the 4th, and she'll be moving direct till October 5th and finally leaving Leo. So look for all of September to really feel like finally you figured out what to do with that pet, tenancy situation, office romance, work conditions where joy was lagging, inability to get that raise or promotion. All stuff goes forward after September 4th and gets increasingly positive as time goes on. And there's an especially auspicious story connected to Venus I'm going to give you the dates, September 24th to September 29th. Write that down. September 24th to September 29th, Venus will sextile Mars in your 8th house of chunky money. That looks lovely for your finances, paying off a debt, getting a chunk of money coming out of the blue maybe. There's a little bit of Uranus element involved in here as well. So I don't know what kind of chunky money can hit you, maybe a bit of a surprise, but it certainly smooths out issues to do with your longer term 401k, mortgages, investment monies, or things that you rely on that aren't from your paycheck in terms of your financial well-being, including inheritance money. So things are going to get a nice little love up on that sextile from Venus to Mars around the 24th to the 29th. And don't forget, she's moving direct, which is giving you this fresh new financial momentum as well. Now, Jupiter is going to go retrograde on the same day that Venus goes direct, September the 4th, and he'll be going backwards in Taurus until December the 3rd. Taurus in your chart, Pisces. Taurus is your third house. When Jupiter retrogrades here, you're going to go back over old ground to do with siblings, to do with journeys and travel, to do with things to do with the neighbors in the neighborhood, as well as maybe cousins, extended family, maybe aunts and uncles, but mostly cousins. Things are going to kind of go back to old territory. But if you want to think of Jupiter retrograde, think of him becoming very wise, very Obi-Wan, very deep, very more like your inner guru around things that will be connected to third house meanings. Now, if you're someone like me who has an online presence, this can you be going back and redoing your website, revising what you wish to teach or learn on the online world, but you're definitely taking some kind of breather here. Jupiter's been expanding your third house, right? Whoosh, lots of travel, lots of expansion through travel. And maybe even connections to love through travel because of that Venus transit through the 6th house, which could be dating. And now there's a pullback. So some of you, September 4th to December 3rd, as Pisces rising especially, Sun and Moon secondarily, may find that you end up pulling back, pulling away, or taking a time out from third house travel stories. Or, love stories that are connected to travel or love stories that are connected to the word dating as opposed to long-term marriages. Jupiter retrograde here is going to spring forward December 3rd and be there until the third week of May. And that's when all that new momentum will pick up. So just hang with that Jupiter retrograde. Allow yourself to go a little bit inward. Look for the inner light regarding third house themes. Mars moves into a new sign. He's the only planet changing signs, and he's moving into the sign of Libra. And he does that on August the 27th. So as the month starts out, we end up with this Mars energy already highly activated as he's trundling on through your 8th house for 6 weeks. Now, Libra is an energy to do with where you're trying to find balance, harmony, peace, negotiation, and cooperation in a financial house. Mostly, most people experience the 8th as financial. Some of you may do occult mysteries and magic, secrets and forbidden sex or something. But for most people, it's going into deep sexual intimacy. But for most of you, it's going to be a lot to do with money. And so as Mars is going to go through that house for the entirety of the month of September, I already gave you the big highlight, which was that time with Venus, September 24th to 29th, giving you a big financial glow up. But understand that Mars going through a money house can be very harsh sometimes. He'll cut, sever, and end. You may have to dispose of a property, sell a stock, be very like a gardener, pruning your longer term wealth strategies. And he's going to help you do that because he is in a condition here of lack of complication, let's put it that way. But he is in his stability. So Mars here is trying to be like diplomatic and more harmonious than he's normally tends to be. So be a little bit careful that you don't like be Mrs. or Mr. or Miss Nice Guy around money stories when you really need to be a little bit more hard ass about stuff, especially with that full moon in Aries on September 29th across from Mars in Libra. There's a big money kind of tension picking up in the sky in the September 29th period where you may have to deal with a situation financially with a full moon in your second house of earnings, such as a job opportunity or such as a change in your income strategy that's just starting to be sort of fully seen by you as needed at the end of September. And Mars is across the way, maybe trying to be gentler than he should be. Like there could be a little come to Jesus financial stories for some of you at the end of the month of September into early October. Fighting about money can be 8th house things with people like business partners or spouse type relationships. Also separating out the money. If any of you are in difficult relationships that feel strained and that you don't think they're going to last, then this is how you look at the sort of spousal support, alimony, child support kind of energy. Mars there is doing the parsing, cutting, severing, or also battling for those resources. So keep that in mind. Mars is not strong in Libra. The good news is he does have some support from Venus and Leo on the 24th to 29th to bring you your fair share of whatever monies you're trying to acquire from another person. All right. Anything else I want you to know? I mean, you're busy healing a money wound since 2019. This Mars Venus sextile energy, the 24th to 29th, can definitely help you do that. And for some of you, I mean, a full moon in the second house is really shedding a big light on a strategy that might have to come to an end, or a way of spending money or not saving money or not making money, or even, full moons are like completions often, right? So just keep all of that in mind. We'll be doing a whole video on the moon. Now let's break the month down bit by bit, and then we'll finish up. Now, September 3rd to the 4th, Mercury is going to be in a flow relationship to Jupiter called a trine. This is so lovely for you because when Mercury moves into flow with Jupiter, you are also going to move into flow. And the flow is to do with travel. And Mercury says travel with a loved one, travel with a business partner, he is still retrograde, travel with a former lover, travel, see a former business partner, former relationship person. But it's easy and it's flowing and it's opportune, right? September 3rd to 4th. And we still have Jupiter just before he turns retrograde. So there's a lot of potency as Jupiter is stationing to turn around. He's very powerful because he's moving so slowly. An opportunity, a contractual agreement, a vow, even a work opportunity can happen here. Jupiter rules your 10th house, connected to an opportunity for work and travel, September 3rd, 4th. On September 6th, Mercury will conjunct the sun. Hang on a sec. I'm looking, hope that wasn't displaying anything. I'm looking at my notes, which I like to keep handy when I'm doing this. And I wrote the glyph for Venus. So Mercury cazimi the sun, in the heart of the sun. I'll be doing a webinar on that. If you sign up for my channel and follow me on all my things like my newsletter, you'll know how to get into that free webinar. All Mercury cazimi webinars are quite useful to harness them and get some magic downloads from the sky. So the cazimi on September the 6th is happening around 13 degrees of Virgo. Now, Mercury on September the 6th, right, because he was retrograding till September 15th, is still in retrograde motion. So there's a Mercury moving backwards into the heart of the sun. There's synchronicity ahoy when Mercury is retrograde. There's super magic. It's super powerful magic here. And this 13 degrees is really going to hit some of you Pisces rising sun and moon. If you have your rising sun and moon anywhere from 10 to 16 degrees of the sign of Pisces, it's going to really be an important cazimi. But it may be about your partner in love or business. They may be having some amazing experience, download, cosmic, enlightenment moment, cosmic reveals of some sort. It's also a kind of a Mercury death and rebirth. He's resetting his life, and you may be starting a reset button in how you approach clients, market, audience, and significant others in your life. But harness that energy. Come to my webinar. I don't have the webinar set up yet. Maybe I'll get that set up before this goes live, but just be a part of my channel or follow me and you'll know when to get into that free webinar. It caps out at 500 people, so I usually fill. So you might want to jump into one of my freebies. Moving forward, on September 15th to the 18th, there's a bit of a mashup in the sky. That's going to be kind of a complicated hot mess. I'll try to describe it to you. Venus is squaring Jupiter, and Venus on September 15th to the 18th is doing that square from direct motion. It's the last of 3 such squares that have already occurred. It's a longer story that's been ongoing since June. But Venus squaring Jupiter is finishing it up, the grand finale, and the grand finale says something like, well, September 15th to the 18th, would you like to have a job opportunity, a health increase, a travel opportunity? Do you want any of those things? Do you want a learning opportunity that is about professional learning? Do you want to get a new pet from your local neighborhood breeder? Do you want to move to a new property that you're going to rent in a different or more auspicious neighborhood? Are kinds of ways this Jupiter in the third, energy with Venus in your 6th may play out. Yet at the same time this is happening, the sun is in a trine to Uranus, which is positive. The sun in the house of vows, contracts, and legal agreements, trining Uranus in the 3rd house of neighborhoods and travel. So bottom line, sudden exciting opportunity developments around work and travel, around partnerships, around legal contracts, around neighborhoods. These are a few items I could say about what's happening for you guys around September the 15th to the 18th. September the 20th, around 20th or to 22nd or so, the sun will come into a flow relationship to Pluto, who's retrograding at the last degrees of Capricorn. Now, this is a very powerful financial energy in terms of purpose and career, maybe getting a lift here. But in your case, because it's 7th house, 11th house energy, it can also be a favor from someone in power, an elder sibling, someone who treats you like you are the younger sibling. So a friend who's an ally, a benefactor, coming in with an offer, a contract, a vow, a legal agreement for you. So this can literally be a very good career move energy for you around September 20th to the 22nd, allowing you to create greater financial gain in your life through whatever you call your purpose or career, if you have one. Lastly, September 29th and the 30th. This is how we finish the grand finale, guys. We have Venus squaring Uranus for the 3rd time. The last and 3rd time has been ongoing for the last couple of months, 3 months indeed. Venus squaring Uranus is shocking, surprising, unexpected developments around love or money in general. That's a code for that. The last call at the OK Saloon, right? But where this happens is between your 6th house and your third house. We've been talking about that axis a lot. I'm not going to repeat all the meanings. This is very much travel opportunity, job opportunity, travel opportunity with a beloved, a dating situation taking off that involves a trip, going on a trip and meeting somebody and falling in love. September 29th through the 30th. Siblings are involved, a sudden trip to see a sibling coming to see you all of a sudden. September 29th to the 30th, or communication with a sibling. Emails could be very well what we're seeing here. But it's unexpected, it's surprising. It may not be difficult, it's just maybe abrupt and requires immediate action and decisions on your part. At the same time, this is all happening, September 29th, 30th, we see Mercury coming into a flow and at ease with that same Uranus that's bringing the sudden trip or the sudden dating situation. Mercury's trying to finish something he almost tried to pull off around August 23rd. So if you go back to around August 23rd, Mercury refrained from trining Uranus. Now he's going full bore and doing it. Well, legal agreements, contracts, and vows, sudden opportunity, sudden development, sudden expansion. So a lot of this can look like, a sudden exciting opportunity to travel for work, with your love partner, sudden developments for your love partner that involve travel, sudden sibling developments that affect you and your clients' audiences in some way. Like we're trying to mash up third and seventh house meanings. But Mercury is by then, right, moving into direct motion, which is hallelujah. And that trine to Uranus is exciting. And it can be really good for genius, like as well, like a sudden spark of genius. But Mercury's in the house of other people. So your love partner, business partner has a deep spark of a genius idea to do with your website, online world, travel, communications, marketing and selling perhaps. And it's going to look very exciting and quite sudden. I do see a lot of you Pisces having opportunities to travel though, with all that Uranus-Jupiter action going on in your third house, and especially being activated by Mercury, the patron of travelers in the seventh. Look for opportunities to travel with significant others in your life being offered to you during the month of September. Thank you for listening to your month of September, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Have a wonderful month. Don't forget, check out my Patreon community. You're going to get a lot of freebies. I introduced them at the beginning that you wouldn't get any other month. This offer ends at the end of September. And healingwithnancylyn.com. She's pretty amazing. 15% off with my code FALL15. All right. And I'll put all the information under the More button in my description box below. Thank you so much.